Tanse, Jenny Laderut Nitsikason, Gwagithle Kohtenia. Imamasan Paitayano Miahatamoyan, Natohkigwaya. I had made videos of talking about my childhood, which speaks to a different time, a way of life that does not exist anymore. If you listen to my childhood stories, there is so much about community in there, and it's so different from today. I've talked about Nehyaw, our Cree language, and I will be making more of those videos. But for now, I'm making a series of short videos, and I talk about different things, things that we do or ways of acting that are rooted back in our history, that we still do in our culture today. Some of those things don't even make sense anymore, but we still do those things. And one of those things is Indian time. Now, there is a misunderstanding today of what Indian time is. People think, oh, I can be late because I'm on Indian time, because I'm Indian or I'm a Nehyaw. No, it worked then, Kayas, but it doesn't work today because we live by the clock today. And so you can't be late for work consistently and have it be okay because you're on Indian time. It doesn't work that way anymore. But there is such a thing, Kayas, because we as Nehyaw are not future-oriented, even today. We tend to live in the present state, not as much as, historically, but we still, some of those traits we still live. And the idea that things start when they start and end when they end. That was a big thing back then because, and I will give an example of that. For now, I want to talk about how Native people determined or what things that they used as a clock, I guess, calendars, had to do with nature, of course, because we lived amongst nature and how that operated. For example, the time of day was by according to the placement of the sun during the day. During the day, like at noon, it would be, I'll have to see if I can say this right, Apihtaugi Siganok. So midday, that's all. It doesn't say, the sun is placed Apihtaugi Siganok for a few hours, right? So the time was not specific. The sun can be Apihtaugi Siganok from 11 till 1. Couple of hours, the sun will be in the south. Paksimonik, that's west, where the sun sets. So that's how they told time of day. They also told time by seasons. Sigwan, right now it's Sigwan, spring. Nipin, summer. Tagwagik, fall, and so on. So they referred to seasons and they called the months according to behaviors in nature, like a lot of I think for example, July and August. July, August have a lot to do with ducks and what they're doing, if they're laying eggs or if the ducklings are flying. So that was how they referred to months. But this behavior of Indian time is deeply rooted in our culture. Okay? And I'll use an example. Kayas, maybe there's going to be a sports day or a feast somewhere in a community. So word will get around. We Kayas, there was a lack of ways of communication, moccasin telegraph, and people will announce that there's going to be a sports day. Nehyaw, mistagamit Nehyaw pism, they'll say, the end of June. So there you go. There's no days announced, there's no date or times because we didn't have a clock. Bonagemete, so when the month ends, well, when is that? So people had to travel there from a distance by horse and wagon or whatever other means of transportation they had. So it took days for people to get there. So then, when there's enough people have arrived, the events will start. Or whatever activities were planned will start. More people will arrive, and the sports day will continue. And this could be over several days. And then because it was an opportunity, they've traveled a long ways, so it was an opportunity for people to visit and reconnect with people, or relatives might not have seen each other for a while. So a few days and the sports day will carry on, and maybe there'll be visiting in between, activities, events. And then people will start to leave because they have 2-3 days of travel to go back home. So people start to leave, and less people. So the activities or the event, the sports day, will be over then. So there, no specific time. So to reiterate what I said earlier, things start when they start and end when they end. That's how it used to be. And there's, it's a universal thing, like other indigenous groups, such as in Australia, South America, I think even Mexico, they kind of have that same value or same outlook in regards to time. So even today, sometimes, if a meeting doesn't start quite on time, well, it'll start when it starts, or maybe an event. There might be a delay, and it's no big deal. It can get out of hand at times, I think, but that is what Indian time is. So now you know. Iksamaga.